Okay, Oliver, thank you so much for joining me to record this conversation.
Absolutely no problem at all.
Brilliant. Would you mind just giving people a quick introduction to you, to who you are, your role, and that kind of thing?
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Oliver Acton. I'm the current managing director of Frank Taylor and Associates, and also the creative director of FTA Media. So Frank Taylor and Associates being a practice brokerage based in the dental industry with 37 years of experience,
Yeah.
and FTA Media kind of sitting alongside it, focusing on social media and media creation within the dental space.
Mm, brilliant, brilliant. Thanks, Oliver, and thanks for joining me for this conversation. I was delighted you joined our cohort for the Coaching Leaders Academy,
Yes.
and we went through a brilliant 12-month journey together with you and 11 other business leaders. And when we started that program, would you mind just kind of sharing what were the key areas of focus for you as a business leader coming onto that program?
Sure. So when we started the program, I wasn't in my current role as I
Mm,
am now. So I was still creative director of FTA Media.
yeah,
We had a very small team at the time, but I
yeah,
was looking to kind of expand more into Frank Taylor. So we kind of thought, right, I've only got a small team at the moment, but there's going to be a larger team there. So I think kind of getting some sort of training, some sort
mm,
of managerial experience that I can experience through others' experiences,
yeah,
as it were.
yeah,
And so there was a great opportunity to learn from other people's mistakes and obviously from yourself, Justin, what you've
yeah,
learned over the years before I step into that role to make
yeah,
sure that I had a good kind of base and foundation and yeah, kind of then see for myself where I can take that. But I think it really opened my eyes from a small team perspective,
yeah,
kind of when we started, of not how messy I was doing things, but how we could be a lot more structured in not just kind of processes and bits, but just structured in your own mind on how you go about things and yeah, kind of how you approach different things within the team.
yeah, yeah. Because you don't know what you don't know, do you? And
Yeah.
I always say that it's really fascinates me that people that leaders in businesses
Mm.
become leaders in businesses because they've been really good at delivering in their roles within that business.
Yes.
So they become the natural selection for leadership.
Mm.
But what it takes to be really good at your job,
Mm.
i.e., hardworking, determined, flexible, willing to pick up all the different tasks,
Yep.
and sometimes put in extra time, extra hours, more commitment. Those things are important as a leader, but sometimes they
Mm.
can also be the things as a leader that trip you up and trap you.
Yes. And I
Because
think, isn't there a phrase that a lot of people, well, most people are promoted one level above their competency level,
yes,
that you could become very good at your job and your skill,
yeah,
and then you get promoted to management and you kind of stop there
yeah, yeah,
because you were just good at your job and skill. But
yeah,
yeah, I think management is a skill unto itself. You need to
absolutely,
learn, yeah, how
yeah.
to do that side.
Yeah, and if you don't, and I think there's a couple of things going on for most people. If they don't recognise that that is something they need to develop, they just think, "Oh, I'll do what I was doing in my role
Mm.
as a manager," and then they find it actually doesn't work because you can't just
Yeah,
pick what to do. You can't keep picking things up from them. You can't scrutinise the details because actually it turns people off and it
yeah.
creates a gap for you as a manager. So, yeah, so that brings us nicely on to, in terms of the course and when you were going through it, then Oliver, what were
Mm.
some of the changes that you made to your leadership style and what happened, what the impact of those changes?
So I think for me, it kind of goes back to the previous point of being messy.
Mm,
That I started FTA Media just by myself,
yeah.
kind of half freelancing, half business. And when we started to bring people on, it was almost freelancer to freelancer. Is that right? We
Yeah.
had some systems in place in terms of kind of holiday management. We had the important stuff there,
Yeah.
but in terms of actual time management, keeping people on track, motivation, all that kind of stuff, it was almost by the seat of your pants. Kind of every week was a new week. Let's kind of just figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
But having been on the course is understanding, right, what actually makes people tick? Why do people want to turn up to work? How do we get them to push the business forward as much as I want to push the business forward? How do we get everyone to kind of work together as best as they can?
Yeah.
And I think that was the best thing about the course for me was the cohort that was put together.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
And we were all in almost the exact same stage in our careers.
Mm,
So all either fledgling managers looking to step into management, and all with very similar team sizes as well. So we're all sharing very, very similar experiences.
mm. Yeah, it does help, doesn't it? And
Mm,
and actually, there are a few people, as you say, like you, and then there are a few a little bit further along the way,
mm,
so they can share, some of the teething trouble that you get as you
yeah,
start to develop your leadership capability and you engage with people. I'm a general manager I first worked for when I stepped into leadership used to have
mm,
this mantra. His mantra was managing business is easy. It's managing the people where you get the problems, and he's absolutely right.
yeah. There's the other phrase of business would be easy if it wasn't for the people,
Yes, yeah,
which
yeah.
obviously you can't do business without the people.
And
It's
that's the
yeah,
dichotomy. It also wouldn't work.
no,
So
well,
you
I
get,
think this was everyone thinks it's like B to B or B to C, but it's not. It's P to P. It's people to
people to
people.
people. Yeah,
It doesn't really matter who you're selling to. It's still a person selling to a
yeah,
person,
yeah,
and even internally, you still need to sell the job and sell what you're doing to your team,
yeah,
like
yeah.
on a
Totally
daily,
agree.
monthly.
Yeah, totally agree. As a leader, you're
Mm,
constantly enrolling people in your ideas and helping them to be really motivated to succeed for themselves and for the business. You've got to join up
yeah,
those connections and dots for people. Yeah, it's
yeah,
good.
yeah, and it's like you said, it's linking those two things that obviously you have a business agenda and the way that you want to take things, but you also have to acknowledge that everybody has their own personal agenda,
Yeah,
and it's marrying those two together as best as you can.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. It happens through the right coaching conversations, doesn't it?
Mm. Yeah,
With-
exactly.
Without those conversations, you're kind of scrambling really a lot of the time without, and a lot of people don't realize that there's that opportunity to make that difference and make the shift in the way
Mm.
that you approach leadership so that you get that alignment, strategic alignment between what the people want
Yeah,
individually and what the business needs. And you as a leader, of course, as representing the business, what you need from those teams. Yes,
yeah.
great.
And I think a lot of the time they're more aligned than you think.
Yeah,
But it's almost just approaching it and just saying, right, what works for you
yeah,
best? This is what works for us best. And it's like, all right, okay, there's like 90% overlap.
yeah.
Let's see where we can take it.
Yeah, it's almost like, sometimes these things, as you say, sometimes it's happening anyway.
Mm.
But what the work that we do together helps to do is just to make it more overt, make everybody's completely aware. Then it's
Yeah,
not an unsaid thing. It becomes a spoken
yeah,
objective or a spoken strategy or a spoken intent, and then
mm.
everybody can really well align with that rather than
Yeah,
just thinking that's what we're doing. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And that's the thing. I think everyone knows, or you'd
Yeah.
hope everyone knows, everyone's kind of doing things for the greater good
Yeah.
of everybody in the team.
Yeah.
But it's lovely to have those conversations where you just put it out there, and it's like,
Yeah.
look, this is what we're doing, this is where we want to go, and this is how it all fits in. This is how we're going to help you.
Yeah. Make it more intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. And in terms of so you were going through a change process, Oliver, but how long did it take before you started to notice, the difference that you were able to make yourself in becoming perhaps a little more structured or a little more
Mm.
intentional about your leadership?
So probably over the 12-month course, it was probably about month 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Once we've kind of gone through obviously the beginning of the content,
Yeah.
been able to digest it myself, and then to start actually having talks with the team. And obviously, when back then I was only 3 4 months in, I was still just running media, so we were a small team that were able to be very flexible in
Mm.
terms of the conversations we were able to have and the processes we were able to put in place.
Yeah.
But then I think it was nice to have those early conversations and then develop upon them
Mm.
throughout the rest of the course as it kind
Yeah.
of stacked up from there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was enough time for me to be able to get myself sorted to be
Yeah.
able to be in that sort of coaching position, as it were,
Yeah.
and then to actually disseminate that into the team.
Mm. And the timing was great for you, actually, wasn't it? With that, change in your leadership responsibilities in
Yes.
business and kind of the growth in your responsibilities. I mean,
Yeah.
it was wonderful to see you go through that process as well, and
Yeah.
learn and apply it, and recognize the opportunities to apply it in the right situations. And
Mm.
sure make some mistakes along the way, as we all do.
Oh yeah,
Um,
of course.
they're the most important lessons, I think, sometimes, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think that was the brilliant thing, that I was able to not sort of test it, but kind of grow that part of me in the business through media,
Yeah,
and then having finished the course, then step into Frank Taylor with all that knowledge and testing and everything that we've gone through with it.
yeah,
And I think,
yeah.
yeah, that's obviously held me in hopefully good stead for the
Brilliant.
past year and yeah, beyond.
Yeah, well, it's certainly you seem to be thriving, Oliver, and I'm really delighted for you and for the business. Final question for you then,
Hmm.
Oliver. People might be considering this course. Why would you recommend this course?
So for me, I like the phrase, if you don't know what you don't know.
Mm, yeah,
So as someone who obviously started their own business, had hired a few, had a bit of a team, but had done no managerial training, had no real managerial experience, it was eye-opening to see a different way that things can be done and how structured it can be done and how you can align your team with your business goals and business ambition, and not just on a small level. It's not just kind of one to one. It's is managing larger teams, heads of department, and kind of making sure that everyone's kind of pushing towards the same goal, whether
yeah,
it's the same goal over different teams. I've got different jobs to do, but it's kind of pushing the whole train forward.
mm,
And I think the benefit of it being sort of over 12 months is you get to share those experiences with the rest of the cohort. So
yeah,
there's a great, as we had the monthly meetings and the in-person meetings, that we all got to have deep conversations around, right, what's happening with everyone, what the difficulties, what's
yeah.
worked. So yeah, so I think it's a great open cohort for everyone to
Mm.
be in and share their ideas.
Yeah, yeah. So you're learning from the feedback from other people as well as sharing your own ideas and
Yeah,
progress.
yeah.
And
I think that just like expedites the learning, because
yeah,
it's not just your own experience. You've got, yeah, yours and multiple other experiences kind of fitting in together.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. I also like the way that you picked up the content and thought about it, not just from coaching your own team, but thinking about the alignment of other directors in the business, your peers, even people, who you reporting to, actually
Yeah,
using coaching as a structure and approach to be able to guide and align everybody in the business, including yourself. Yeah, it's really good.
yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, we've all got ideas of
Mm,
of things we want to do, directions we want to take things, and you don't have to. It's a lot easier to sell it to a team that you manage,
yeah.
because you just have to be like, right, okay, this is the direction we think we should take it in. How do we best go about it? But
Mm,
when you've got to also sell it to your peers or even people higher up the chain, it's a right, okay, how do I then go about coaching everybody, like both
mm,
up and down,
yeah.
to make sure that we can we can achieve the goals that we're trying to set.
Mm. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. It's been a real pleasure working with you, Oliver, and seeing you thrive through not just the program, but through the hard work you then did in the background after the program. So
Mm.
thanks so much for agreeing to come and have this
Oh,
conversation to share the ideas with other people and your feedback.
yeah, no problem at all. No, it's been, like I said, it's been a great year, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's been a great year since having used everything that we've used on the course.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
one of our colleagues has also been through, so
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
doing well as well.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah,
it's been just good all round. So thank
yeah.
you for being part of it.
Genuinely my pleasure, Oliver. Genuinely my pleasure. And wishing you and all of the team at Frank Taylor Associates the very best of luck for the future. And I know we'll continue to work on other projects together as well. So
Yeah, definitely.
look forward to a bright future together, I'm sure.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks.
no,
Thanks very much,
absolutely
Oliver.
brilliant.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Pleasure. Thanks.